All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about the law of demand and the law of supply. Okay, now in the last couple of videos, we've been talking about ceteris paribus, which basically means all other things being equal. Okay, and this has to do with your demand and supply, okay, especially your demand and supply curve, okay, as your price changes. Okay, so let me draw your demand curve one more time. So this is your demand curve. Okay. And let's assume that this will be your price and this will be your quantity. Okay. Now, demand for something has to do with the ability of a consumer, okay, to buy something, okay, as well as the willingness of a consumer to buy something. Okay, so the ability and the willingness of a consumer to buy something will go up as the price goes down. Okay, so when it comes to demand, okay, the law of demand deals with, okay, the concept where considering all other things are equal, okay, the quantity demanded will go up as price goes down, and the quantity demanded will go down. So this will be movement along the curve towards the left. It will go down, okay, as the price goes up. Okay, so as the price goes down, the demand goes up, price goes down, demand goes up, and as the price goes up, your demand goes down. So this has to do with your law of demand. Okay, and again, we're assuming that all other things are equal, all other factors are equal. All right. Now, apart from this curve, you also have the supply curve. Okay, and the supply curve is the opposite. Okay, so the supply curve, okay, basically starts off somewhere over here, okay, and keeps going up. Okay, this is an upward slope rather than a downward slope. All right. So based on this upward slope, we know for the supply curve that as the price goes up, okay, or as the quantity of production goes up, okay, as the total number of units produced increase, okay, your price will go up as well. All right. So this is the law of supply. All right. So law of supply is basically saying, okay, given the cost of production, if the cost of production goes down, for example, and the supplier is able to supply more of that good or service, okay, in that case, what's going to happen is the price will eventually go up, okay, and it keeps going up as long as the supplier can produce more and more, okay. So this is law of supply, okay, as okay price, okay, goes up, your quantity goes up. Or you can say the other way around. Okay, as the quantity of production goes up, okay, your price goes up. Okay, as the quantity of production, let's say the cost to produce is too high, and the supplier reduces the quantity of production, okay, the price will, okay, as the quantity of production goes down, the price will go down. Okay, so where supply and demand curves meet, you have your equilibrium point. Okay, so at this point, okay, the supplier is basically meeting the consumer's demand. Okay, the supplier is producing at a quantity that the consumers are willing to buy. All right, so they agree on the price, they agree on the quantity. Okay, so this is basically the price, the ideal price and quantity that the supplier would want to sell at. Okay, and the reason for this is because if they happen to produce more than the consumer demand, they're going to end up with a surplus, which will be somewhere over here. So assuming that they're producing more at this point. Okay, this will be your surplus over here. Okay, the area over here, this will be a surplus. Okay, so basically, okay, your demand, okay, is somewhere over here for this price. Okay, so this is the price and this is your demand. However, your supplier is producing, okay, let's just say QS, okay, and your demand is QD. All right, so we know that QS is more than QD, as a result of which the difference between these two, okay, this will be your excess or surplus. All right, and further down, if the supplier, for example, let me draw another graph over here. Okay, if the supplier is producing less than the demand, okay, what's going to happen is, okay, the quantity demanded, let's say at this point over here, this will be more than the quantity supplied at this point. Okay, so again, you have QS and you have QD. All right, so if you look at the difference between these 2 points, okay, we know that you have excess demand, which basically means that you have a shortage. All right, so at this point, the supplier is not producing enough. All right, so that's basically the law of demand, okay, the law of supply, okay, surplus, shortage, and equilibrium for you. Okay, on behalf of electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.